I've been using the S25 Ultra as my daily driver for 2 weeks as of tomorrow. And I gotta say, I really like this phone a lot. And I think if you're interested in it, you probably will be too. And if you're trying to get one and still get the deals before the pre-order stuff ends in just 3 days, got an affiliate link in the description. You can use that to get up to $900 trade-in credit, which is massive, by the way. It's hundreds of dollars more than Apple ever gives you for their phones. And there's like over $300 worth of freebie stuff that you can possibly get too. Get some Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, Samsung Galaxy Care. You kind of pick and choose. But anyway, so the phone itself, I had some mixed emotions about it whenever the phone first came out because I was a little turned off by the finish, which some of the colors, I mean, let's be honest, they're not really colors. They're like tints, right? They're hues. This is the silver blue color, and it looks silver. Sometimes it looks a little blue, I guess. I mean, the name maybe is accurate. When you put it next to one of the other phones, it looks more colorful, but most people seem to be gravitating towards the black one because it is a very standout, definitive color. So I wish they would have been a little bit more bold with the color choices this year, but I don't know. I think they've taken another page out of Apple's playbook, like their Desert Titanium that I have that sometimes looks silver, sometimes looks like dirty silver. I mean, it's not, the colors these days on Samsung and Apple are not inspiring. So now that I get that out of the way, the phone itself I actually love. I like it. I love it. I've really been enjoying using the phone. I mean, so much so I bought my own. A lot of people may or may not know this. I did get a review unit from Samsung. That's what this one is. If you've seen my green one that I have in the video over the last couple of days, that's my personal one that I bought. Trading in my S24 Ultra, getting the $900 trade-in credit. I got the Galaxy Buds 3. I paid 3 Pro. I paid $20 for them with the credit that I got for it. So, yeah, it was a no-brainer for me. And if you've got an S24 Ultra and you want to get an S25 Ultra, then go for it. You can get some great deals. And what's also more incredible is the Z Fold 5. You can get the full $900 credit and max freebies. And the Z Fold 6, same thing. So I've actually been surprised by how many people have told me they were switching over from the Z Fold 5 and the Z Fold 6. I guess some people decided, hey, I want to try out the Fold and just didn't like it all that much and then decided to come back. So I've actually had a lot of people, and it's surprising how many phones that have shipped out early. Samsung has, I think, shipped out more phones earlier to people ever in the history that I've ever noted them doing this. So there's been a lot of people. I've been able to get a lot of feedback. And it's not just me that likes the phone. Like, I like it. I like the changes, easier to hold. I like the better consistency and sharpness of the screen. I think the screen looks better. The ultra wide, that's cool. I like it better for the macro than the ultra wide. But that's neat. They reworked the camera algorithm. It's got Gorilla Glass Armor 2, which does seem to be pretty good. I haven't had a screen protector on this thing for 2 weeks, which is probably the longest I've ever had a new phone without a screen protector, and I don't have any scratches on it. I mean, maybe you might can see. I would have to get a flashlight to even look for micro abrasions. So I think that the Gorilla Glass Armor 2 is pretty good. They shaved a little bit off the weight, a little bit off the form factor. I mean, there are some nice things here. But then we also have to have the asterisk that says, yes, the S Pen no longer has Bluetooth functionality with being able to use it as a remote shutter, being able to use it with the air gestures. And I mean, I get it from a business decision. Samsung, based on their research, says less than 1% of people use it. That's still going to make some people upset. But I think maybe they got it right. I don't know. I don't personally care because I don't use those things. Or if I didn't use it with any regularity. So it doesn't hurt my feelings. But some people it does. And if you're one of those people, you probably shouldn't upgrade. But anybody else, if you don't care about those features, you got an S22, S23, S24, I mean, especially the S22, S21, S23 crowd, you're probably going to appreciate the updates. Plus, they've got the Grade 5 titanium they've built into part of the frame to make it more durable, slightly lighter, 7 years of support. And this is something somebody the other day commented, like, oh, I get that with my S23. No, you don't. You get it with the S24 and the S25. You get 7 years of support. So this phone will be supported 7 years of operating system updates, 7 years of security patches for 7 years. That's a really long time. We just got Android 15. You're going to get Android, what, 22? It's going to be around for a long time. And a lot of people ask me, like, can the phone really last that long? Okay, here's my interpretation. Here's the Adam J. Matlock interpretation of a Samsung phone that will be supported for 7 years. The battery technology we have still won't last 7 years for a daily driver phone. So throwing that out there. It'll be at 80%, 70% battery health, whatever, by the time it gets there. And probably, if you keep it and use it that long. And on top of that, the processor. I mean, yeah, it's got a 4.47 gigahertz top processor. I think in 4, 5, 6 years, then you'll still have pretty decent daily performance. Now, the one big question mark I have is there's no 16 gig of RAM model in the US, which there wasn't either for the S24 Ultra. There wasn't for the Z Fold. So it's kind of weird because for the longest time, Samsung's like, oh, we need 16 gigs of RAM model. You know, it was a vanity metric, and I said that years ago. It was just a selling point. We're nowhere near using 16 gigs. It's kind of like some phones offering 24 gigs of RAM now. We won't touch that for 10 years. It's just a selling point. So 12 gigs of RAM is very practical, at least for the next couple of years. I think it's fine. So what that tells me is by year 5, 6, 7, they probably won't take the updates that seriously when it comes to cutting edge AI, which is really the only thing we need the extra RAM for at this point. Because if we take a look at actual RAM management, the biggest RAM users out there, like Genshin Impact, barely use like a gig of RAM, maybe a gig and a half max. So, and you can only play one game at a time, right? And those are the biggest RAM offenders that you've got out there. So I think 12 is perfectly fine for probably the next 4 or 5 years for this phone. Maybe next year or two, I'd like to see them move to 16 because foreseeably in the 7-year spectrum, we could see that as something they tap into. But just from a practical perspective, I think what they have in the phone is going to be good for several years. I don't think any phone at this point in time, the expectation the phone will be the same as it is on day 1, it is in day 7 is just la la land. Like, that's not anything that's in the realm of possibility. Look at a phone from 7 years ago and use it now. Yeah, you can still open Twitter. You don't get security patches anymore. You can still check your email. It'll be much better than that because phones 7 years ago compared to now are night and day different. So 7 years from now, the daily performance that you could still get out of this phone could still be okay. And I think it's better for the resale market. Most people that get these phones that I know that watch my channel don't keep their phone that long. And I don't advocate keeping your phone for that long because within the first 2 or 3 years, likely it's paid off and likely you'll get a good deal to trade it in. I mean, shoot, Samsung gives amazing trade-in deals for phones that they've had out for like a year, 2 or 3 years, depending on what they're trying to do. And then the carriers, that's where most people get their phones in the States. Most people don't buy them unlocked in the States. So you go to AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, and any of those carriers usually have, the last couple of years anyway, had these, trade in any Samsung phone, get $1,000 off, right? By the time you've had this phone for 3 years, you're going to have some sort of a deal like that when it's time for you to upgrade. Why keep hanging on to a phone for that long anyway? I don't think anybody should hold on to a phone for 7 years. It's way past its value to you and the max value to trade it in at that point. So I'm not a big advocate for it, but if somebody picks one up on the resale market, year 5, year 6, and just wants a decent phone for their kid, their student, just want to try out a Samsung phone with an S Pen or something, there's still going to be value in it, right? And I think that's the important reason for 7 years of support. I know there are a few people out there, and I'll see you in the comments, and I appreciate it, going, I'm going to keep mine for 7 years. I've still had my phone for 7 years. You can do that. I don't advise it because your phone's not even secure at that point. But if you want to do that, that's your prerogative. And in 7 years, you'll probably be happier with this phone than you are currently with your Note 9 or your Note 8 or whatever it is at 7 years at this point. So I've been really surprised by the phone. I like it. I really like One UI 7, which is their take on Android 15. Really nice, smooth, fast, makes the phone feel like a completely different phone experience almost. It's been so much better in daily usage as far as smoothness, and I really like it. It feels refreshing to me. One UI 6, it really wasn't that impressive to me. One UI 6.1, it was the same stuff, over and over and over. And at the core value, I mean, that still is what we get with One UI, but I do think it's better. I think that it's a more enjoyable experience, and it's changed my experience with the phone. So that's nice. The AI features, I use them seldomly, right? I mean, some people like them. Some people use them more. Some people will sit there and do sketch to image, 15 times in a row, just testing it out and playing with it. I've done it a few times. It's cool. There's neat things you can do with it. And I think that Samsung is probably the best situated to push that frontier combined with working with Google over the next few years. And I think that they'll continue to lead the way, especially over Apple. Apple's intelligence launch, very dismal in my opinion, very, very unimpressive. So if you're interested in AI, I think it's the phone to have right now. And I like some of the stuff that they do because they even take their own little flavor on some of the Google stuff. Like it's pretty neat. The translator app that they have on Samsung, I think, is way better than Live Translate. So overall, I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of great deals right now. If you still want to get one, I don't know what Samsung's going to offer after the pre-orders are over, but the pre-order deals are always the best you can get every year. You get the free storage upgrade to 512, pay $20 and get the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, put it towards a watch, put it towards Samsung Care. I kind of like that this year because it gives you choice. It's not like, oh, you just get this, right? So I do appreciate that. And at least while the time lasts, there's still an extra $50 with the affiliate link that I have. You can put towards stuff for a maximum of up to $350 credit. So that's all I got. I just wanted to talk about it real quick, and because I don't usually take stances on whether people should buy stuff. I don't like to tell you go buy this, go buy that. That's not what I'm here for. But my stance on the phone is I like it a lot more than I expected to. And I think sharing that information helps my audience because if you're on the fence, if you're looking to get one, or if you just want to know how I feel about it, a lot of times I'm like, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is upgrades. I like it a lot. I like this one more than I've liked any of the Ultra phones that I've used probably since we switched over from actually the Note, right? So anyway, that's all I got in this video. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, I know you might, go to the comments section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys next time.